The night sky over Seoul rarely feels this quiet. Even in a city that never truly sleeps, the atmosphere online was far more chaotic than usual. Conversations flowed non-stop, digital whispers sparking like embers across a dry field. And at the center of that firestorm stood two names, Jungkook and Winter. No one was truly prepared for the news. Not when two idols from the most influential groups of their generation were suddenly swept into a whirlwind of rumors hotter than the scorching summer currently blanketing South Korea. It all began with one blurry photo, unclear, grainy, but enough to send Twitter, TikTok, and global fan communities into a collective frenzy. Two silhouettes at a Japanese airport. A man in a black hoodie walking swiftly, and a woman with a large face mask, silver hair peeking out from under a cap, and a subtle, familiar movement. Too familiar. It didn't take long before fan accounts began comparing facial structures, height, walking styles, and even accessories. That's Jungkook, 100%. Look at the bracelet. It's the same one he wore during his last broadcast. Then another comment landed like a bullet to the heart of the fandom. That's Winter. I know her stance by heart. It was as if the world froze and then exploded. There was no room for doubt or patience. ARMY began suspecting everything. MY's, the aespa fandom, defended and questioned. Some fans stayed silent, while others chose to burn everything down. What made it more complicated wasn't just the rumor itself. It was the fact that even 10 hours after the photo went viral, there was still no official statement from HYBE or SM Entertainment. No denial, no clarification, just silence standing like a tall wall between public curiosity and rising panic. And silence, as we've come to learn in the Korean entertainment world, is often the loudest sound of all. Some fans tried to rationalize. Maybe they're just friends, someone wrote on the Q forum. It might not even be them. The photo is really unclear. But the more people denied it, the stronger the wave of speculation grew. Every video frame, every old post, every brief glance in past variety shows was dissected as though it held clues to a hidden conspiracy. One video from the 2023 year-end award show resurfaced, where both aespa and BTS were in attendance. A brief camera angle caught a fleeting glance between Winter and Jungkook, just a second. But now it's been replayed and analyzed millions of times. A small smile on Winter's face as Jungkook walked by, a subtle hand gesture from Jungkook, as if shielding her path backstage. Was it just coincidence, or was there something deeper hidden in those quiet gestures? For over a decade, Jungkook has stood as a symbol of dedication, focus, and professionalism. He isn't just the golden machine. He's someone who always carefully guarded the line between his personal and public life. Every rumor in the past had been swallowed in silence, but this time, something felt different. Not because of the scale, but because of the unusually intense public reaction. Silence was no longer enough. The world demanded answers. Winter wasn't just any name either. As the visual and center of aespa, she represents a new generation of K-pop idols. With her calm and untouchable aura, she has rarely been involved in rumors, let alone one of this magnitude. So when her name was tied to Jungkook's, the public wasn't just surprised, they were shaken. Within hours, media outlets began reacting. News portals published provocative headlines like, "Are these two visuals from HYBE and SM secretly dating?" Or, "One photo, 1,000 theories. Is this love or just illusion?" Yet, no one could confirm anything. Every report only fueled more questions. Every speculation only deepened the mystery. Fans began taking sides. On one side, those who chose to believe and support whatever choices Jungkook and Winter made. They said idols are human. They deserve love. They deserve a personal life. But on the other side was a darker wave. Hardcore fans who felt betrayed, who called it a scandal, not a love story. One viral comment from an international community read, Jungkook has worked so hard to protect BTS. If this is real, why would he ruin everything now? A sharp reply followed. Maybe you've forgotten he's a human being, not a puppet who lives only for you. Meanwhile, fan artists, fashion analysts, and conspiracy accounts began piecing together fragments of a puzzle, from the clothes worn at the airport, to emoji codes on social media, to a sudden shift in Spotify playlists that felt oddly personal. Winter's playlist included Adele's Love in the Dark. Jungkook posted a black and white photo 2 weeks earlier, gazing out a window with a caption of just 3 dots. Was it a message? A clue? Things became even more tangled when fans discovered that what appeared to be Winter's alt TikTok account had liked a Jungkook fan edit 2 months prior. Unverified, but enough to fan the flames. All these small things, once connected, formed a mosaic too difficult to ignore. But the strangest twist came from an anonymous forum post allegedly written by someone claiming to be a Japanese concert staff member. The user wrote, "This isn't just a rumor. They've been close for a long time, but very careful." Could it be true? Was this more than fan fiction or media hype? Could something real be happening behind the scenes, away from the spotlight, in dressing rooms and green rooms few ever see? But why now? Why did the photo appear when the world was quiet? Why hasn't there been any clarification? Are HYBE and SM calculating something bigger? As the world waits, both names, Jungkook and Winter, remain silent. Their official accounts show no new activity. No stories, no live streams. Even other members of BTS and aespa seem quieter than usual, or perhaps too quiet. In that silence, suspicion grows. In several international fan communities, theories emerged that this might be a public test, that the agencies are monitoring reactions before making a decision. Others believe it's a distraction from a larger story the companies are preparing. But some believe, or want to believe, that this is nothing more than a simple love story that accidentally spilled into the public eye. That behind the grand stages, beyond the spotlights and roaring cheers, 2 souls quietly found each other, not because they wanted gossip, but because they, like everyone else, want to love and be loved. But what if the rumors are true? What would this mean for BTS, currently serving in the military and preparing for their long-awaited Chapter 2? What would it mean for aespa, fresh off a successful album release and still solidifying their place as 4th-gen leaders? And more than that, what would it mean for Jungkook, who has always been the most private about matters of the heart? Could this be the beginning of a massive shift in the K-pop industry, or just the prologue of a far more complicated and painful story? For now, one thing remains clear: no one really knows. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly why we can't stop waiting, can't stop asking. What really happened behind that blurry photo? Because what's blurry doesn't always mean it isn't real. In fact, it's often the thin mist over the lens that holds the deepest truths, those not meant to be seen, yet forced into the light when the time comes, a time that even giant agencies like HYBE and SM can't fully control.